Mediocrity sucks. Everything is about excellent, and there's no half speed.
Hi everybody and welcome to Rely on Local. I'm your host Nick Christensen. Rely on Local is a show dedicated to the survival of all good things local. Our local businesses have never been under as much stress as we have today. In our show we discuss all the great reasons why we should rely on local. Today we're excited to have Bill Sargent with us today. Thank you Bill for joining us and welcome to Rely on Local.
Hey, it's fun to be here today.
You're such a fun guy. I appreciate that. So the energy level is fantastic. I think a lot of people, when it comes to creative things, don't really know a good focus or program or follow through or any engagement that they can to better their visibility in their lives for the things that are going on. I know you're in photography. I know you're in music. I know you're in engagements and promotional things. You're just a whirlwind of information, and I'm really looking forward to a lot of this conversation because I want to learn about what you have going on. And it's really interesting. I think a lot of people want to be better with that in their lives because they have a lot of big things going on in their lives. They've got marriages going on. They've got big parties. They've got events. They've got needs for their businesses. They've got a lot of things going on. So I'm really looking forward to hearing about what you have going on. So this is really cool.
We're going to have fun today.
Yeah. Excellent. I appreciate that. The world around us is much better with people like you around us and helping us. So
hey,
I appreciate that.
I can create chaos just as well as anybody else. Anything to keep it interesting, okay?
So, Bill, this creativeness that you have going on, how did that get going? What is your background? What is your world from?
Well, first of all, the creativeness came from God. That's kind of a gift, okay?
Excellent.
But really, my story starts in the fact that I discovered very early on that I'm allergic to jobs and bosses. And so therefore about the age of 4 I had my first business.
Oh, wow.
And that continued on to today where I've got 3 businesses and 7 brands.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Basically the creative part of it came when I started piano lessons at 8.
Okay.
And I switched over to the drums at 10. And then by the age of 13, I was professional on the drums, making my living as a 13-year-old on the drums. At the age of 16, I left school to travel on the road with famous people.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just leave it at famous people, because the rest of my life continued the same way.
Oh, okay.
In the photography end of it, at one point during film days, I had a car accident, and doctors told me I'd never play again.
Oh, no.
So I had to go to something. Remember, I'm allergic to jobs and bosses. So I had to go to something where I was my own boss. I could use the creative brain and my creativity just like I did before.
Okay.
And I turned to a hobby that I picked up while I was traveling on the road, my photography.
Oh, okay.
And my folks lived in a large 100-year-old duplex in my hometown, and we never rented out any part of it. So we lived in it however we wanted to.
Oh, okay.
And so
a lot of room in there.
A lot of room,
okay.
Long living rooms, high ceilings. So I claimed
the
one.
best. There you go.
I claimed one living room for my studio, a bedroom for my office, and a basement for my darkroom.
Oh, okay.
I immediately became the hometown newspaper photographer and doing everything.
Very cool.
And then about a year later, doctor said, well, why don't you see if you could play, try and see if you can play. And so I did. I closed my doors to the photography thing. I was back to my main dream, the music.
Okay.
And that continued on through till, and it still does today.
Okay.
But about in 2014, my young daughter had become a gifted photographer, and I found myself buying her toys I would have rather kept for myself. And so one day I looked at my wife. I says, this camera says, "Look at this, dear." And so would I be crazy? And she says, "Nah, go ahead." Big mistake on her part.
She didn't know.
Okay. Oh my God. Because mediocrity sucks. Everything is about excellent, and there's no half speed. It's all the way. And so immediately I got thinking, well, I could use this lens I just bought for Jen. Oh, and I could use that flash I just bought for Jen. And the funnel just freaking opened up. And before long, I found myself studying with some of the nation's legends and some of the top photographers in the nation and everything else like that. And that brought me up until today, and so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
It's quite a story. You got a lot going on there. Of all these things that you have going on, do you find that you're more passionate with one or the other, or how does that fit within all of your life?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you find your way through it all.
The music thing, and I get on there, the minute I start playing music, I realize what I was created to be. Okay, who I was created to be.
Okay.
And when I get to the photography, I find myself serving other people in doing something for them that's going to live on and carry their, not their soul, so to speak,
right,
but who they are.
Sure.
And represent them well to not only to people that they do business with now, but also future generations.
Absolutely. I know we've talked in the past many times, and your statement about getting family photography done, getting the group shots done, getting those pictures of grandma and grandpa. Mm-hmm. You don't know how long they're with us. You don't know next year at Christmas if they're going to be here with us or something along those lines. And so I think it's huge to have that, because I know a lot of people around me that are involved a lot with genealogy and those types of things. What would it be without the photography of that?
Exactly.
You know, you got the old family photos, you've got the history shots, you've got shots from the 1800s that people can look at and say, that is my great-great-grandfather. And they came to this country, or whatever it was. I think it's huge to have all of that.
Yeah.
And it's big.
You know, first of all, in based upon what you just said, I just got off a networking conference today.
Okay.
And I said something that it went in all kinds of directions.
Okay.
I said, I also do casket photos.
Oh.
And
Wow.
people were going, ugh, you take pictures of dead people and cast. No. I said, you know, there are people that understand their mortality.
Right.
And they know the time is coming, and they know they don't have a picture that represents themselves, for the top of the casket or for the obit. You know,
Right.
How many times have we gone to a funeral or look at an obit and we're thinking, that's the best picture that they could come up with?
You got it.
You know?
Yes, you got it.
So, yeah, and when I'm creating portraits, and headshots are nothing but miniature portraits.
Right.
They're actual portrait. I see the character and the soul of the person when I'm doing it.
Good point.
I can see the personality, and I know that I'm dealing with something that is very, very precious and very, very special to that person.
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
And I want to make sure that they look.
And it's going to live with them for a long time and their family forever.
Yeah.
It's nothing, you know, you can't move past the fact that it is a big impression on somebody, and how much the future of that family is going to have that now for the rest of their lives or forever. And now using digital, it'll be forever. You don't have to worry about it degrading or anything like that, like years ago. So I guess that leads into Mr. President. You are now the president of the Wisconsin Photographers Association, I hear.
Wisconsin Professional Photographers Association.
There we go. I didn't even have it properly stated. Tell us a little bit about that. What do you think?
Well, one of the first things I did when I decided to start my photography business is I became a member of the Professional Photographers of America.
Okay.
And that's a national association with just the most unbelievable assemblage of photographers from all over the country and some other countries that you could ever imagine.
Nice.
And what I did was then they have affiliates. They have state affiliates.
Oh, okay.
And so I became a member of the Wisconsin Professional Photographers Association. And in the process of doing that, in all my education and all my training and everything else like that, I earned my CPP, which is a Certified Professional Photographer.
Oh, okay.
And there are less than 2,500 of us in the United States.
Oh, my gosh.
And so I became involved in our state organization. Something that's very important to me is just showing up and being there, and being available, and more than half of life is just showing up.
you know it.
So I showed up, and
Good point.
I got to know these people, and I got to know their craft a little bit. And frankly, I'm the least of them all. Trust me, we have some amazing photographers in this state. So anyway, I think 4 years ago now, they made me their secretary.
Oh, okay.
I did that for 2 years. Then last year I was their vice president.
Oh, okay.
And this year, in their short-sightedness, they made me their
musical
president.
chairs, and you didn't have a chair?
Oh my goodness. So I said, hey, I could screw this up just as well as anybody else.
Let's go at it.
There we are.
No, I think it's fantastic. I think a lot of people don't realize I don't know if it's not really structure so much, but the ability to have their photography done by somebody that is a professional, because I think it's a game changer. Mm-hmm. We were talking before the shooting here of this information in this podcast that I was mentioning that lighting is important, but you brought up shadows. Mm-hmm. I think there are a lot of things going on when it comes to getting that right shot. Why would you not want to have somebody that this is their craft, this is what they've been working on, this is what they do, this is what they care about, and they want to help you? I think that's huge.
Well, the thing about it is our society culturally has gotten dumbed down.
I'm sure.
Okay. In the music industry, the music has become more and more watered down and just
Sure.
Less variety, less pop, less
right.
stuff.
Sure.
And the same thing is happening with photography.
Okay.
I see so many people that and this is not negative. This is just an observation, where they'll say, "Well, I'm a natural light photographer," and there's nothing wrong with that if a person knows what they're doing.
Oh.
There's nothing wrong with it, even if they don't know what they're doing. That's just fine.
Art is perception, right? Art is perception.
Yeah, if that's what a person wants, that's what a person wants. But here's what I see a lot of. I'll tell you what. We're going to go out and field the sunflowers, and we're going to have the sun behind you, and then I'm going to take and put this in this image in a filter, and I know that you've spent the last 6 months in a tanning bed wanting to look good, but let me tell you, by the time I get done with you, it's going to look like you have not seen the sun in 6 months, and then I'm going to put it through a filter. I'm going to take away all the shadows and stuff like that, and then another filter to kind of pre-age it a little bit, and now ain't that great.
So what part of that is real?
And the thing about it is as I look at you, your face has dimension. It has lights coming from a direction. It has
right.
shadows, and it's those shadows combined with the lights that creates the dimension in the personality in the face.
Nice.
And that's the hard part.
Right.
Right. There's a lot of mastery involved in sculpting the shadows.
Sure.
It really is.
Oh, well, I can tell the photography you do is just amazing. The shots are great. You even made me look good.
You look good to begin with.
Oh my gosh, that's a battle right there in its own. Do you have any information that you'd like to share with the public about photographers in general? I mean, somebody that's looking for that might be pretty naive in the photography world, hey, I need this done, or I've got this wedding coming up, or I've got this going on, or I've got this corporate need or something like that. What would you say might be the points that you might want to bring up for that?
The best thing I can suggest is do what I did.
Okay.
Join the Wisconsin Professional Photographers Association. That's WPPA-online.com.
Okay.
And the thing about that is you will have an opportunity to hang out with legends.
Okay.
And you and I both know that we become like those who we hang with.
Yeah, good point.
And so you will have an opportunity to go be mentored and to tag along with us on photo shoots and to attend workshops and seminars
Sure.
and things like that.
Sure.
And really grow the craft. There's only so much you can get off YouTube or online, you know.
Right.
It's that personal feedback.
I'm sure every circumstance is different too.
Yeah.
You know, you're coming into circumstances where it's a lot different than you thought it was going to be, or the lighting isn't exactly right, or I didn't know we were going to be doing the photo shoot here, type thing. I'm sure you get that a lot.
That's where the improvisation comes in. Okay, being able to being flexible and looking at the situation you're working with, and then being able to come up with the solution for that situation.
Sure.
And that's critical.
Right.
You know, totally
right.
critical.
Yeah, I can believe it.
Yeah.
Well, do you have circumstances where you have been mentoring anybody? I mean, then does that kind of change your focus sometimes? I mean, does it give you a chance to learn as you're teaching? Have you had some of those circumstances?
Every time somebody teaches, they usually learn more than the person who's
You
the
hope so.
student.
You do hope so.
Yeah. And yes, I have those situations where people come to me for advice. It's a big mistake on their part, but I'm willing to play along with the game. And so,
you have a lot to give them.
and so yes, because the whole thing is when I talked about culture dumbing down,
Yeah.
is if we take the time to teach others what the quality is and to recognize the difference and how to create something that's really, really a cut above
Sure.
the ordinary blah, you
Sure.
know, at that point we're also raising the level of our culture
It does.
in
It
music and in photography and all
Sure.
that. If we
Sure.
can raise the standard and as we're going along and teach others to do the same
I
thing.
was just going to say that teaching part, I think, is a huge part there, because the information that you have, which could be fantastic, if it's not conveyed in some way or somebody else can pick it up from you, it's lost.
Yeah.
It's lost. It's like a photography that wasn't done.
Right.
You know, the picture that wasn't done of whoever. It's lost. And
Yeah.
I can see that. That's huge.
So,
That's
you know,
huge.
so many people keep that stuff close to the vest, and recently in one of our networking groups, the phrase, and I stole it. I totally stole this, man. I've used this only like 10 times since then. It's collaboration, not competition.
There you go.
The more that we can collaborate, and just like you and I are doing now on
Absolutely.
business ideas and things like that,
Absolutely.
and concepts and marketing and promotion, and the more that we do that, the tide raises all ships, or whatever the saying is.
Yeah, the tide raises all boats,
Yeah.
I guess, or whatever. Yeah, it's all interesting like that. I think the focus that a lot of people have when it comes onto their business side is they don't realize the group effort can be very powerful. It can really bring a difference because you get many people looking at something to solve something.
Right.
So that's fantastic. In closing, Bill, what would you say then is something that you would like the public to know about things that you have going on, or just a little insight on, Bill?
Well, I've got my websites that I'll
Sure.
pass along that you
Absolutely.
can post at the
Yeah, please
closing
do.
credits.
Yeah, let people know how to get a hold of you.
Basically, you know, people ask about sales and they ask about promotions and things like that. And first of all of life is a promotion.
Absolutely.
We're always promoting something. We're always selling something.
You
whether
got
it's-
it. You got it.
The day we asked to get, would you marry me? That was a sales job. You know, it's all sales. It's all promotions.
Absolutely.
And frankly, I think the most important thing today is because we're inundated with sales techniques and marketing books and this thing and that thing, and they're missing the point.
Okay.
It's all about the relationships.
Yeah.
It's all about the relationships. You build the relationships, and everything else follows.
Absolutely.
It's all about who you know, And people do business with people who they know, like, and trust.
You got it.
See, when I was asked one time on a Facebook feed,
Okay.
give us your elevator pitch.
Okay.
My elevator pitch was 3 words: Hi, I'm Bill. That's it. That's it. I want to know the people. I want to get to know who they are, what makes them tick. You know,
Right.
I want to build friendships. I want to build relationships, and that's really what it's all about.
Oh, that's
If
fantastic.
you do all the right things, everything else falls into place.
There you go. That's a good way. That's a good way. Thanks, Bill. That's been fantastic. How do people get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me at Milwaukee-Headshots.com or photoslimited.net.
Okay.
And we'll post the websites on the closing credits.
Sure, absolutely. I was just going to mention that too. So,
Cool.
Thanks, Bill. This has been fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, great insights.
Nick, I got to tell you, I appreciate what you're doing.
Oh, thank you.
Because your effort is one of those tides that's raising all boats.
Oh, I appreciate that.
And we really appreciate the work that you're doing to help the small business people, and I'm grateful for that.
Oh, appreciate that. That's the best. That's the best. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us with this Rely on Local episode. It's fantastic to get information out to the public and to everybody around us about how great local is and the great local things that are going on around us. Please subscribe to this. Please like and share it. Tell your friends. Bring more people to this. The power of this is everybody showing up. Thank you so much. Have a great day.